Well, I've got Andy Gray with me here now. If you're English or Scottish, you think that's a footballer, but he's not. He's the manager of Wesley Eye Bookshop. We're going to come back to that in a few weeks and ask Andy about life here. But in another incarnation, Andy is actually a youth leader at a church in Croydon. Actually, just let's start off. Tell us a little bit about that, Andy, about that role as youth leader, why you do it, and what sort of things you get up to.
Oh, well, I used to work at New Life Christian Centre for about 4 years as first an intern, then a youth and children's worker there, and then a few other extra roles that kind of get chucked in along the way. Since then, we have quite a few different youth leaders, so I'm one of the guys in the team. We always work everything in the team at that church. And yeah, I just got involved in that. I was studying at the Bible college our church used to run, and I was convinced I was never going to get in front of youth work because once you get in, you never, ever, ever get out. And one day, one of the guys came in after saying that. I'd said that to everybody, and a guy came in and said, "This Sunday I need you to teach some of the 10-year-olds." And the word yes came out of my mouth, and I've regretted it ever since. No, I love it. And that's kind of how I got into it first off, and then from then on I just carried on doing youth work. So I've probably been doing it since I was about 15, so I've been doing it for a little bit now.
Awesome. What inspires you to do youth ministry then?
Wow. It's cliche, it's cheesy, and probably every single person you've asked that question to would say the same thing. It's going to be Jesus. You hate to say it, don't you? Because like every other Christian youth worker is going to go, yeah, Jesus. But yeah, it's got to be. I mean, he took 12 young guys, debatable, obviously, with theologians, but some of them would have been in their early teens, and you see what he did and how it's changed and impacted our world and its society at the time and how radical and revolutionary they were. And part of me wonders, well, what if we got our Sons of Thunder today, stirring things up and rocking the boat a bit?
Andy, I mean, you're right. A lot of people watching this will be going, yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. You've got an amazing way of actually ministering. I was at an event. We're going to stick up following this interview on this sort of short video. An incredible event called Urban Life. Tell us a little bit about the origins of that and the purpose behind that.
Well, years ago, my church started, they scrapped our Sunday night service and they did a life service which was aimed at the 15 to 30s age group category. And they've been doing that for a long time, and it's been really good, and it was really like quite a, whoa, this is quite controversial, quite a radical thing to do on a Sunday night as a church, and it was really successful, and it just carried on being really successful. One of the things we found was a lot of our urban youth are kids that are into rap and maybe involved in, whether they're not involved directly at their schools, there's gangs and stuff, and in Croydon that's quite a cool thing and thing to be a part of a gang, a bigger thing, and to act a bit bad and a bit rough and tumble. And so we noticed that a lot of our guys that were coming through the church, it was fantastic, but all our urban style youth, our youth that are into that kind of culture or heavily associated with that culture, we were just losing them like flies. So one of the things I suggested was that on a Sunday night we do urban life. Same as the live services, it's targeted at 15 to 30s-ish age group, maybe a bit younger, but more urban in terms of having different Christian rap artists come, having their music, whatever their theme of their album or their music is, having someone speak along a similar theme. The first one we did was on forgiveness. Ray and Vi Donovan came and shared their testimony about their son being murdered, forgiving the murderers, teaching the murderers how to forgive one another in prisons. And they shared their story, it was amazing. And then these other artists, New Direction crew, they did a couple of their tracks, I'm Sorry, which was all about forgiveness. It just gelled together really, and that's kind of what we did.
And when people are going to watch this in a minute, they're going to see loads of kids responding. Actually, I'm not sure they are, because I'm not sure I recorded it now. Because it was one of those really intimate moments, wasn't it? Amazing. Yeah. But okay, you're going to have to take my word for it. There were loads of kids responding. Now that must really encourage you, because guys are watching this saying, how on earth are we really going to reach these kids for Christ?
Wow. Yeah, it was really, really inspirational. I'd spent about 12 hours on the street handing out flyers for this event over the last 2 weeks. Some of the guys had helped me out from my church as well, and they're fantastic. They're really humble, and it was brilliant. The best thing was actually, I had a youth event on the Friday night. We gave flyers out in our church, which Mark Ritchie also spoke at. Then the Saturday was a men's conference, and after that for a couple of hours on the Saturday from about 4 till about 6 I handed out flyers. The Sunday, both services in the morning, I was handing out flyers to the youth to give to their friends last minute ditch. I spent about 2-3 more hours on the Sunday handing out flyers. I was at McDonald's, and there was this group of teenagers. So there's one kid that I knew that used to vaguely come to church. So I went in and spoke to him, and he looked absolutely devastated that I'd come and spoken to him. He'd losing all his street cred in front of his friends. But little did he know that these guys had already heard about the event, and they were so pumped up and excited to come that then he was like, yeah, I'm coming. And some of these guys that were with him are actually involved in gangs in Croydon, and they took a flyer, and on the Sunday night they came to the event. The whole group came, and two of the guys that are quite naughty, and I know things about them from Croydon, from hearing from other people, they actually went forward to the altar call. It was just amazing. These two guys that I was debating, do I give them the flyer in McDonald's? And yeah, they're at the front, and I got a chance to pray for them and just to bless them and stuff. It was...
Well, look, Andy, I didn't know that. What I do know is that last Sunday was the most exciting thing I've seen in England in youth ministry for a very, very long time. And I think you've given me part of the answer there. You had to get out there and sweat it out and step out. Andy, we're going to watch that now. At the end, we're going to put up some contacts for you. I know there'll be guys out there wanting to find out more, and I'm sure you'll want to be in touch with them. But thanks ever so much.
No problem.
Single,